Jaya Radha Madhava Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Gaur Bhimanandi, Dame Shubhad Paramahamsa, Brave Rajagashadya Stotra Satta, Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Siraboy Charanaravind Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Skanda BT, Founder Acharya, Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Samavata Bhakti Vrinda Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Jani Thai Gaur Bhimanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paritana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanditam Sya Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Tamami Hari Priye Vansakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the Supremost Human Being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of Learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati tamashloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamhitam Pratamashloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasaya Namaha. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Surabhyay Namaha. Om Surabhyay Namaha. Om Surabhyay Namaha. Mukam karoti vasalam pangum lankayate girim yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataram. Yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataram. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our daily Srimad Bhagavatam, continuing from the second canto, chapter 5, entitled The Cause of All Causes. Today's text number 3030. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Vaikarikan Manu Jajne Deva Vaikarika Dasha, Dig, Vatarka, Pracheto, Ashri, Vani, Indra, Upendra, Mitra, Kaha, Vaikarikan Mano, Jajne, Deva Vaikarika Dasa, Digvatarka Prasito Shri, Vani Drupendra Mitra Kaha, Vaikarikan Mano Jajne, Deva Vaikarika Dasha, Digvatarka Prateto Sri, Vanin Drupendra Mitrakaha, Vaikarika Namano Jajne, Deva Vaikarika Dasha, Digvatarka Praseto Sri, Vanin Drupendra Mitrakaha, Vaikarikan Manojasne, Deva Vaikarika Dasha, Digvatarka Praseto Sri, Vanindro Pendra Mitrakaha, Vaikarikat, from the mode of goodness, Manaha, the mind, Jajne, generated, Devaha, demigods, Vaikarikaha, in the mode of goodness, Dasha, 10, Dik, the controller of directions, Vata, the controller of air, Arka, the sun, Prachetaha, Varuna, Ashvi, the Ashwini Kumaras, Vani, the fire god, Indra, the king of heaven, Upendra, the deity in heaven, Mitra, one of the 12 Adityas, Kaha, Prajapati, Brahma. Purport and translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. From the mode of goodness, the mind is generated. From the mode of goodness, the mind is generated and becomes manifest as also the 10 demigods controlling the bodily movements. Okay. Such demigods are known as the controller of directions, the controller of air, the sun god, the father of Daksha Prajapati, the Ashwini Kumaras, the fire god, the king of heaven, the worshipable deity in heaven, the chief of the Adityas, and Brahmaji, the Prajapati. all come into existence. Everyone can repeat after me. From the mode of goodness, the mind is generated and becomes manifest, as also the 10 demigods controlling the bodily movements. There are 10 demigods that control our different bodily movements. Such demigods are known as the controller of directions, the controller of air, the sun god, the father of Daksha Prajapati, the Ashwini Kumaras, the fire god, the king of heaven, the worshipable deity in heaven, the chief of the Adityas, and Brahmaji, the Prajapati, all come into existence. Purport. Vaikarika is a neutral stage of creation, and Tejas is the initiative of creation, while Tamas is a full display of material creation under the spell of darkness and ignorance. Manufacture of the necessities of life in factories and workshops, excessively prominent in the age of Kali or in the age of the machine, is the summit stage of the quality of darkness. Summit. What is summit meaning? Summit. Summit, just like summit means the top, highest. So sometimes in different countries, the leader, they come and they have what they call summit meeting all together. Meeting. So here, Prabhupada is telling that the development of machine industry, modern technology, machine. Kali Yuga is the age of machine. So Prabhupada is telling that this is the summit stage of the quality of darkness. The more we are busy with machine, the more we are in tamagun. Unless we use a machine for preaching, then it's okay. But most people don't use machine for preaching. And most people, they are controlled by the machine. Yes. they become, we call addicted. Just like someone drinking cannot stop drinking. Yeah. Many people addicted to machine. Yeah. Very, very bad condition. So, Prabhupada continues here. Interesting. Such manufacturing enterprises by human society are in the mode of darkness because factually there is no necessity for the commodities manufactured. Wow. I think many people will disagree, and those who disagree are generally in the mode of darkness. Because factory is not natural. Um, people become like people who work with machines become like machine. Some people every day, from morning to night, they take one screw and they put like this. They do the same thing all the time. So working with machines, we become slave, slave of machine. And therefore we lose our ability to think, cannot think properly. And especially we have no time to think about what is the goal of life. Yeah. So this is this famous purport actually. Human society primarily requires food for subsistence, shelter for sleeping, defense for protection, and commodities for satisfaction of the senses. The senses are the practical signs of life, as will be explained in the next verse. Human civilization is meant for purifying the senses, and objects of sense gratification should be supplied as much as absolutely required, but not for aggravating artificial sensory needs. And therefore, in Vedic culture, we minimize our material activities in the matter of sense gratification. We minimize sense gratification. Because the more we are busy with matter, we have no time for spirit. Yeah. So food, shelter, defense, and sense gratification are all needs in material existence. Otherwise, in his pure, uncontaminated state of original life, the living entity has no such needs. The more we advanced spiritually, we have less need for material things. Yeah, that's why in Vedic culture, brahmachari before, now there is a modern brahmachari and there is before traditional traditional brahmachari before have only one dhoti. When uh, every day, that is part of the schedule, he goes to take bath at noontime and washing dhoti and putting in the sun, and that's it. How many dhotis does Krishna Chaitanya have? 4, 5, 2, 6, 6. Wow. Living in luxury. He's a modern brahmachari, 6 dhotis. One should, he has more dhotis than I have, sannyasi. So then Prabhupada continues, the needs, these material needs are therefore artificial, and in the pure state of life, there is no such needs. Yeah. It's like the Goswamis of Vrindavan, because they were fully, completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, always busy reading books, always busy writing, always busy discussing. Their life was very simple. When the Goswamis, Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, the first Goswamis who went to Vrindavan, when they went to Vrindavan, Vrindavan at that time only forest, big forest, many forests. And they never thought of making any home. Even they did not have any plans to make any temple. So they were, because of their spiritual activities, spiritual absorption, they minimized their material necessities. Yeah. So the same point Prabhupada continues to make here. As such, increasing the artificial needs as is the standard of material civilization, or advancing the economic development of human society, is a sort of engagement in darkness without knowledge. Yes. So that is a sign. Prabhupada also says, the more we are busy and entangled in material activities, modern technology, modern machines, we lose the ability. We lose the ability of developing spiritual interest. Yes. That is the disease of modern day society. Everyone is materially busy. No time, no time for spiritual life. But the Goswamis of Vrindavan and those who are Krishna conscious, they are so busy spiritually, so busy, they have no time for material activity. Maya always watching. Maya, if she sees that we are not engaged in spiritual activity, she'll say, come, I have so much engagement and I will give you a lot of material seva. Yes. Yes. And she is very expert. Yes. The whole world is. Then Prabhupada continues here, by such engagement, material engagement, human energy is spoiled. Human energy is spoiled. Because human energy is primarily meant for purifying the senses in order to engage them in satisfying the senses of the Supreme Lord. Yes. The senses are meant to be engaged in serving Krishna, satisfying Krishna's senses. Yes. The Supreme Lord, being the supreme possessor of spiritual senses, is the master of the senses, Rishikesha. Krishna's name is Rishikesha, master of the senses. Rishikesha, there's two words. Rishika, Rishika. Rishika means the senses, and Isha, master. Krishna, he is the master of the senses. The Lord is not the servant of the senses. Or in other words, he is not directed by the dictation of the senses, but the conditioned soul or the individual living entities are servants of the senses. That is the difference between Krishna and the conditioned soul. Krishna, he is the master of the senses, and conditioned soul is servant of the senses. Yes. So Prabhupada also explained by the word go. Go means senses also. Go means senses, go means cow. So there is Goswami. Goswami. Swami means master. Goswami means master of the senses. If we are not Goswami, we are Godas. Godas. We are serving the senses. So materialistic people, they are Godas. But devotee should be Goswami. Yes. The conditioned soul are conducted by the direction or dictation of the senses, and therefore material civilization is a kind of engagement in sense gratification only. Yes, modern civilization is simply running after more and more sense gratification. Yeah. That is the disease of modern civilization. Because before getting this human body, in other forms of life, in animal life, in different species, the main activity is sense gratification. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. But the special quality, special feature, the distinct nature of human body is we can develop, we can endeavor for spiritual realization. And if we do not utilize, if we do not utilize this body for self-realization, spiritual realization, then we are like animal consciousness. Yes. The standard of human civilization should be to cure the disease of sense gratification. Sense gratification is disease. Yes. And one can do this simply by becoming an agent for satisfying the spiritual senses of Krishna. Devotee means he tries to serve Krishna, to satisfy the senses of Krishna. Yeah. The senses are never to be stopped in their engagements, but one should purify them by engaging them in the pure service of sense gratification of the master of the senses. We cannot stop to see, we cannot stop to eat, we cannot stop to but we utilize all of these senses in the service of Krishna. Yeah. We eat only what Krishna has honored. We eat the remnants of Krishna, food that has been offered to Krishna. Then we become purified. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is the instruction of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna wanted first of all to satisfy his own senses by his decision not to fight with his kinsmen and friends. But Lord Sri Krishna taught him the Bhagavad Gita just to purify Arjuna's decision for sense gratification. Therefore, Arjuna agreed to satisfy the senses of the Lord, and thus he fought the battle of Kurukshetra as the Lord desired. Yeah. And the last paragraph of this purport, the Vedas instruct us to get out of the existence of darkness and go forward on the path of light. Tamasima Jyotirgama. Tamasima Jyotirgama. Get out of darkness. Darkness means ignorance. Ignorance means suffering. Ignorance is the cause of suffering, isn't it? Ignorance means forgetfulness of our real identity. The path of light is therefore to satisfy the senses of the Lord. Misguided men or less intelligent men follow the path of self-realization without any attempt to satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord by following the path shown by Arjuna and other devotees of the Lord. So many people who practice spiritual life, they also, because they don't know about Krishna, they don't know how to satisfy the senses of Krishna because they don't know Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada is explaining, they artificially try to stop the activities of the senses, yoga system, or they deny the transcendental senses of the Lord, jnana system. Astanga yoga and jnana yoga, they are imperfect, incomplete yoga, yeah, incomplete understanding. The devotees, however, are above the yogis and the jnanis because pure devotees do not deny the senses of the Lord. They want to satisfy the senses of the Lord. Yeah. So only devotee, he is niskama. Bhukti, mukti, siddhi kami, sakale ashanta, Krishna bhakta niskama. No material desire, no desire to satisfy our personal material senses. Ataiva shanta, therefore they are happy. Only because of the darkness of ignorance do the yogis and jnanis deny the senses of the Lord and thus artificially try to control the activities of the diseased senses. In the diseased condition of the senses, there is too much engagement of the senses in increasing material needs. When one comes to see the disadvantage of aggravating the sense activities, one is called a jnani. And when one tries to stop the activities of the senses by the practice of yogic principle, he is called a yogi. But when one is fully aware of the transcendental senses of the Lord and tries to satisfy his senses, one is called a devotee of the Lord. So jnanis, yogis, because they don't know Krishna, they don't know the art of satisfying the senses of the Lord, therefore they cannot be successful. Yeah. The devotees of the Lord do not try to deny the senses of the Lord, nor do they artificially stop the action of the senses, but they do voluntarily engage the purified senses in the service of the master of the senses, as was done by Arjuna, thereby easily attaining the perfection of satisfying the Lord, the ultimate goal of all perfection. So the ultimate goal, Prabhupada is ending the purport here by explaining how the ultimate goal actually is to please Krishna, is to satisfy the senses of Krishna. Yes. Because Krishna is the root. He is the root. So when we water every day the Tulsi, for example, or any tree, water we give to the root. And in this way the whole, yeah. So very important purport given by Srila Prabhupada, describing, analyzing the disease of modern day so-called advanced civilization. Modern civilization isn't advanced in sense gratification, advanced in developing machines for increasing sense gratification. That is tamagun, mode of ignorance. We'll just read again the text. Translation to text 30. From the mode of goodness, the mind is generated and becomes manifest as also the 10 demigods controlling the bodily movements. Such demigods are known as the controller of the controller of directions, the controller of air, the sun god, the father of Daksha Prajapati, the Ashwini Kumaras, the fire god, the king of heaven, the worshipable deity in heaven, the chief of the Adityas, and Brahmaji, the Prajapati, all come into existence. Yeah. Okay. Personal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we can close for now. Jai Grandpada Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Sri Prabhupada ki, Gaur